Hi everybody, welcome to my sunroom on this cold, snowy winter day here in East Tennessee. A frequently asked question on my channel is, do you ever get pests? And honestly, I don't get them often, but yes, I do get them sometimes. It's really the downside of growing orchids. I think the best thing to do is to have a plan in place before anything happens. When you have things on hand and you're prepared, you'll be able to take action immediately, which is the best thing that you can do when it comes to dealing with pests. It's a topic nobody likes to talk about, but you need to know what to do beforehand. So here's some tips about how to eradicate pests, and also we're going to go over prevention as well. So what do you do if you suspect that your orchid has pests? First of all, remain calm. Because to be honest, I used to get really irritated or just downright mad. Like, how dare you invade my beautiful orchid? Then I couldn't think. And then I tend to overreact. So just breathe, earmark this video, listen to my calm voice, and know that if it was me, my heart would be beating fast as well. So here's my battle plan for pests. Before you even identify what the pest is, go ahead and isolate your orchid away from your collection. You'll be able to see it better when you're looking at it closely away from the others. Place it in a similar location, like if it's growing in an eastern facing window, move it away from your collection to an isolated eastern window. Then you're going to clean the orchid with a solution of a few drops of dishwashing liquid in a quart of warm water. That's going to help remove any larvae hiding on the leaves, and it will start the eradication process. I have a video on how I clean my leaves, and if you'd like to watch that, I'll place a link in the video in the description box for you. After I've isolated and cleaned the plant, I identify what the pest is. You can simply go to Google search and type in what you see, such as white spots on an orchid, or type in the search pests that affect orchids. And I keep this on hand all the time. It's garden safe insecticidal soap. It kills aphids, mealybugs, whiteflies, thrips, scale, and lots of other insects. So what I do is, if I have just a portion of a leaf that has been affected, I spray that entire leaf. If it's more widespread, I go ahead and I spray the entire plant. Many of you have asked me, do you spray the blooms? What I do is I thoroughly check the blooms and the buds. If I see signs of damage, yes, I do. You run the risk of losing those blooms and those buds, but you have to also eliminate those pests. And what I like about the Garden Safe is it is for organic gardening. I still use gloves when I use it. I don't let it get on my skin. I don't spray it around any of my eating areas. So I'm really, really safe with it. But this is the safest thing that I can find to use on my orchids. Now that your orchid is sprayed, you go back and you clean the area in the grow space where the orchid was growing. Clean the table that it was growing on and check the plants that were growing around it for signs of pests. Especially check new growths like new leaves or new spikes for any sign of damage. If you find more plants with pests, you isolate them and go through the same procedure with the insecticidal soap. I take a picture of the pest damage the first day to see if it worsens or if it's getting better. That helps me to remember what it looked like when it first happened, or when I first found the damage. I spray the insecticidal soap 2 times the first day. Then I spray every day for the next few days as needed, and I keep a really good eye on the plant. I keep that orchid isolated for about a month or 2, and I watch it closely for reinfestation. And I clean it often with a mild soapy water solution. Now let's talk about prevention. What I hear so often from my subscribers is that they get a new orchid, they introduce it into their collection immediately, they realize it has bugs, and now their whole collection has an infestation. I'm a big advocate of isolating orchids for a while before I place them in and around my established orchids that I've been growing for so long. I have windows in my house that are great places for orchids to live until I repot them. Just a tip, old medium is a great place for pests to hide. And then I monitor them for a while. I take my time and I observe the plant for sometimes a month or 2 before I place them in my collection. I know that's conservative, but it saved me a lot of problems. I also find that cleaning my orchids often is beneficial for them. It helps me to keep the bugs away, and orchids like clean leaves. The leaves receive more sunlight, and so the plant benefits. The soap solution I use helps wipe away larvae and bugs, and also the regular cleaning helps me to notice the start of an infestation of pests. And again, I'll have that video about how I clean my orchids in the description box for you below. And another thing to keep in mind is that many times when pests attack, it's often on the new, softer growths of the plant. Pests can do a lot of damage on new, soft growth. So check the growth often for signs of damage and take action quickly. That's what happened to my deep TPS brother red Caribe here. I had aphids invade my sunroom last spring, and there were some new leaves that were coming out on this plant. I noticed the aphids on the plant, and so I isolated her immediately, and I cleaned it several days a week. I didn't notice any further bud, and so when she spiked in here in my living room, I just kept her in here, and she spiked, and now she's blooming. I was looking forward to moving her back into my sunroom, but she's actually thrived here in my living room, so she might just like growing in here. This might be her home. I'm really glad that I saw those bugs on Caribe when I did, because they had just started invading this plant. I've noticed that bugs can invade at any time. They don't care that it's cold outside. They don't take a rest period. And it seems like bugs rear their ugly heads when you least expect it, even in the winter. So I keep a close eye on my plants all year long. I'd rather be prepared and nothing happen than have pests and not be prepared. I like to go into action immediately against a pest invasion. I wanted to thank you all for the awesome comments that you left on my previous video about how I started growing orchids. I really enjoyed reading everyone's comments, and these were wonderful. I feel like I know you all a little bit better from your stories, and they were such a blessing to me. I was wondering right here in the middle of winter how to be a blessing to all of you. It's about now that the excitement of the holidays is worn off and the days are cold and kind of gray and everyone is kind of stuck in their homes. And I thought maybe we all deserved a little mini vacation right here in our house. So I put together a playlist for you all. It's a playlist of my vacation at the Opryland Hotel in Nashville. It's a beautiful hotel with 9 acres of indoor gardens, all encased in glass. So I took videos of most of the gardens a few years ago, and I've been watching those videos lately. I can almost smell those beautiful gardens through my computer screen. So if you need a mini vacation, I'll link that playlist in the description box, and you can go with me through the Opryland Hotel. There are also some of my outdoor garden videos and wildlife videos that I included on that playlist, and I hope you all enjoy them. Please let me know what you think of them. And before I end this video, I would love to say the blessing over you and your family and your orchids. The Lord bless you and keep you. Make His face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn His face toward you and give you His shalom peace and well-being. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you all next time.